All right, I'm not gonna lie. As a photographer, I'm perfect, except for the fact that I make some mistakes sometimes. And sometimes I do second guess myself as far as like posing, equipment, outfits, edits, and sometimes even what frames I wanna buy. So in this video, I figured I'd talk about some of the mistakes that I've made and try to stop you from making them as well. All right, so I'm gonna put the truth out there. When I first started off, my pricing was super inconsistent to the point that I gave a customer one price one week and then they came to me the next week and I super forgot what price I gave them and gave them a whole nother price point. And that didn't go over too well. So in order to try to stop you from making that same mistake, because honestly, that's a mistake that everyone makes when they first begin. It's like you don't really know what your skills are, your skill level is, and you're just winging it. So you just give people whatever price you feel that time. So what I suggest is you making a price chart. And what a price chart would allow you to do is tell somebody a price based on the chart and stick to it. Now with having a price chart, what I also made the mistake of is I try to give somebody a price on spot. No, stick to your price chart, because imagine yourself trying to buy some new sneakers and they tell you $50, right? Then you show up next week with your $50 and they're telling you, oh, the price is 60. That's never gonna go over too well. So that's why I say stick to your price chart. It helps not only you, but also the customer. When I got this box made, I thought my posing was gonna be on point every time. But as you can guess, my second thing that I'm talking about is posing. If there was something that I would say I sucked at more than pricing, it is posing. And it kind of shows in my earlier work. Now, honestly, I still suck at posing, but at least I know how to work around it, which I'm gonna teach you. Because it was nothing like my first model. She was looking super pretty, her makeup was done, everything was perfect. But when we started taking those pictures, she asked that one fatal question that everyone always asks: where do I put my hands? If you've been photographing people for more than 2 days, you probably will hear that question. It's like, do you tell them put their hands here, there, where? And for me, the resolution was Pinterest. You probably think that it's unprofessional to have your poses come from Pinterest, but honestly, I'd rather my poses come from Pinterest and be amazing than having 40 pictures in my camera that the model's like. Whatever poses you want is probably on Pinterest already. So what I suggest is go on Pinterest and make what they call a board. And then it's literally just like a bulletin board or of some sort. And you just pin and it will save all your pictures. That way you can reference them during the shoot. And while we're on the topic of posing, the next thing is outfits. If you're not super comfortable with matching outfits with styles, then I suggest that you listen to the briefing that the client is telling you. They'll usually tell you something like it's a birthday party and they'll tell you colors. So once you get the colors and you get everything you need, go on ChatGPT. If you don't know how to use ChatGPT, then at least use Google. Google pretty much answers everything that you can ask it nowadays. And as far as equipment, I've made a ton of mistakes with equipment. I could go over every single thing in this whole studio and I still wouldn't be halfway through with all the mistakes that I've made with equipment. But if there's one thing I could tell you, the equipment does not make your photography. You do. So if you're feeling like you need to have the newest, latest, and greatest to be creative, I want you to know this. Most of the pictures that you see on my website or the pictures that you see me post on social media, they were taken by a $200 camera that I got over 10 years ago. And I just upgraded my main camera like 2 years ago. But before that, all the pictures that I got on my social media and that I have on my website were taken by that $200 camera. My best rule of thumb is buy what you can afford. Don't buy something because it's flashy or latest and greatest. Buy what you can afford. And what does that mean? They got a lot of ways that they explain if you can afford something or not, but my way of explaining is simple. If it breaks, would you be able to afford a new one? And more importantly, would you want to die? So my camera that I got right now, if it broke, nothing would happen. I would just replace it. But the lens that I have, if I'm being honest, if that broke, I don't know what I would do. So by my own scale of things, I would say that I can't technically afford my lens. But as far as my camera, yeah, I could probably afford my camera. At first, what I'm saying sounds dumb until you realize that you can't be creative with something that you're babying. For instance, like my camera, like I said, I can afford it and I take it outside in the rain sometimes. Probably shouldn't, but do I care? No, because I need to get that shot. But you know something I didn't take outside in the rain? That lens. And that's what I'm saying. Like with that lens, I probably would have got some great shots, but I didn't want to take the risk. I'm babying it, so I will never have that shot that I could have got if I had that lens, if I could actually afford that lens. If you get what I'm saying.